So Noah Lyles at the World Championships in Budapest after winning his gold medal, he went on to the press conference and he caught a lot of backlash because of the comments that he made during that press conference. Noah Lyles talked about how the NBA are not really world champions because they don't defend that title across the globe and across every country. And he caught a lot of backlash from the NBA community, specifically the NBA fans and players like KD. So this is what he had to say.
The NBA Finals, and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what? The United States? Don't get me wrong. I love the U.S. at times. But that ain't the world. That is not the world. We are the world. We have almost every country out here fighting, thriving, putting on their flag to show that they are represented. There ain't no flags in the NBA.
So yeah, Drake also got triggered by Noah Lyles' comments. I'm like, Drake, just set this one out, man. Go, like, come on, dog. Why would Noah Lyles, a 6-time world champion that has defended his world title across the globe, give a fuck about what the NBA community or the league thinks about him? He's a 6-time world champion. Just because you, Drake, you give a fuck about what they think and you're seeking validation from them doesn't mean that everyone else feels the same way. I'm sure Noah Lyles doesn't even watch the NBA. He doesn't give a fuck about them. I'm sure that nigga just wants to watch his anime. He doesn't give a fuck, bro.
During the regular season, and I think that battle test.
What's your name?
And then Maria Lopez basically chimed in and basically defended Noah Lyles and talked about how the Premier League, has the best players from across the globe. And the Champions League, also same thing. Different, teams across Europe defending the thing. And they don't call themselves the world champions. And also, Greg Popovich also chimed in too and stated his opinion over the match and basically agreed with Noah Lyles. And, and I just basically agree with them because the Premier League, the Champions League, they have the best players in the whole world. But you don't even hear them calling themselves the world champions. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, they call themselves the champions of Europe. Because it's not really an international thing. They're not going across the globe defending the title, even though they have the best players in the world. How do you say you are the world champion for a national basketball association? National. Okay, the F1, right, is an international league, tournament, international competition, because why? They defend it across the globe. Even when you look on the page, it's written international. The country is international. Okay, the NBA, let's see, United States, Canada. How is that the world? Despite you having the best players across the world, you find out that you're competing with, like, come on, be for real. That's the same way as Billboard saying that, America is the largest music market in the whole world. And the biggest musicians and the artists are from America. So that means if a song goes number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, that means that's the number 1 song in the whole motherfucking world. How does that fucking make sense? Okay, even Billboard gets that. Okay, it's not the number 1 song in the whole world, it's the number 1 song in America. That's why Billboard established a Billboard Global Chart. Okay, where there's one that excludes America and the one that excludes America. Because it's not the whole world, despite the biggest artists coming from America. And even some of the biggest artists are not really American. We have Nicki Minaj, she's from Trinidad. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that it's the world, number 1 song in the world. And let's look at where the NBA All-Star thingy has been hosted. 2017, Louisiana. 18, LA, California. 2019, Charlotte, North Carolina. 2020 in Illinois. Is that the world or is that America? And then come on, 2011, LA. 2012, Florida. 13, Houston, Texas. 14, Louisiana. 15, New York. 16, Toronto. 17, Louisiana. Do you see how is that the world? So, And then let's look at F1. Australian Grand Prix, Monaco, Spanish, Canadian, Austrian, British, Hungarian, Belgian, Italian, Singapore, Japanese, United States, Mexican, Brazilian, Las Vegas, Abu Dhabi. That's what you call the world. That's why Lewis Hamilton is a 7-time world champion, because it's defended across the fucking globe. And let's look at the Athletics World Championships. From 2017, Osaka, that's in Japan, bro. Berlin, Daegu, Moscow, Beijing, London, Doha, Eugene, Budapest. Do you see now what Noah Lyles was talking about? This is defended across the globe. Every country, submits their people. And then there's a whole list that, whatever requirements are needed. If you don't make the cut, you don't make the cut. But everyone is given a fair share. Okay? Just because no one gives a fuck about basketball outside of North America or whatever you call, does not mean that, you guys are the world champions. You're not the world champions, bro. You're really not. Okay, it's a domestic league. It's a National Basketball Association. It's not the World Basketball Association. That's what the Premier League, it has the best players in the world. Okay, the Champions League, it had other teams that are not in the Premier League, like Real Madrid and Barcelona, that had Messi and Ronaldo, the best players in the whole motherfucking world. But when they won the Champions League, did they talk about how they're the world champions? No, because they are not. And there's something for that, the world champions are the ones that win the World Cup, because now that's what you call an international league. Every country's out there sending their best players to compete for that golden trophy. That's what you call the world champion. Okay, literally, that's what it's called. So the only people that are triggered are Americans, and for a reason. No lies if it's
There won't, but at least we're having the conversation. It's funny, if you look at my comments, you'll have people in the U.S. versus the world. Everybody in the world is very much on my side, and everybody in the U.S. is usually leaning towards the opinion of the NBA. But again, that's just goes to show how we view ourselves in the U.S. And again, I'm just glad that we're having the conversation.
And what's crazy is that these are the same people that are arguing about this whole thing are the same people that were talking about how the NFL is bigger than the World Cup. This is how you get to see how these people are just so against Noah Lyles' comments and arguing about people talking about how they're not the world champions. They're the same people that are talking about how the NFL is bigger than the World Cup. My dog, go to any African village, go to any Middle Eastern village, go to India, go anywhere and tell them to mention one NFL player. Niggas are gonna ask you what the fuck is an NFL, but tell them to mention any team that won the World Cup in the past 5 years. They'll tell you. They even tell you, yo, everybody knows Ronaldo, everybody knows I'm fucking Messi, but you're out here talking about how y'all bigger than the motherfucking World Cup. Come on, y'all be serious.